welcome to the Voice of the Coast. I am your host, Danika. With me, we have Allise Jennings-Salazar. Of course, she is no stranger to the Voice of the Coast, and she's the outreach coordinator for the city of Patterson. Now, of course, as we're going to talk about outreach, of course, that's exactly what we're going to talk about. Something you're doing again, in the community. I love the idea of always reaching out into the community, particularly for our aging population, because sometimes they're the most vulnerable.
Yes.
I want to ask you, how did this come up? We're in hurricane season right now. June 1st marked it off, and we'll be dealing with this for the next several months until about November. If not, look, we know how God works, baby. Sometimes they go on to the end of the year.
Yes, ma'am.
But you have a hurricane preparedness event for senior citizens.
Yes,
Tell me how this all came about.
This all came about one day we was doing our dinners. We do monthly feedings, monthly luncheons for our senior citizens, and the mayor came and asked if I mind getting a hurricane drive together. He said, because the truth of it is, things are going up, but their income is not, and they need the help. I said, sir, I would love to do that. So this all came up per Mayor Grogan.
Right.
Yes.
And we're trying to get this out as soon as possible, because this is this Saturday.
This Saturday,
That's
June 12th.
Yes,
ma'am.
And it's going to be for 4 hours from 8 a.m. to noon.
Yes,
and where's it
ma'am.
going to be located?
It will be located Family Dollar on Catherine Street in the city of Patterson.
All right. So for 4 hours, and look, in a pretty ideal location, because you have 2 of those retail stores in the area. So while you're there, grab a couple of items. And speaking of which, what are those items that you hope people will be able to grab and pick
Items
up?
that I know it's gonna be very successful. I'm claiming it. We need flashlights, batteries, candles, canned fruits such as pineapples, any sort. We need Vienna sausages, potted meat, water, shampoo, toothbrush, anything that a senior citizen could use in a time of distress for a day or two, because we don't know when a hurricane comes. They can be without water, lights for 2, 3, possibly even a week.
Yes. And
Yes,
I mean, it's just
ma'am.
pretty much what we all need. You
Yes,
know,
ma'am.
Look,
And
I grew up on those Vienna sausages, baby. They come in handy when those
handy.
lights go.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
and definitely water.
And definitely,
right?
yes, most importantly, water.
Yeah.
We need a lot of water. Yes, ma'am.
All right. And then you said some, what about, was it non-perishable? What hygienic products are you accepting?
Yes, ma'am. I need shampoo, toothbrush, soap. It does not matter what kind, because I know that the recipients of these products will receive them in love. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be name brand. Just soap, toothbrush, toothpaste.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
And how will you distribute this?
We will compose a list. I'm kind of got familiar with our senior citizens. Every month we do the senior feed luncheons, and so I've gotten familiar. And we also do lunch boxes, and I know who's like in need. So I'm going to compose a list, and then next week we will come and deliver.
All right. Now you've actually kind of partnered up with Council on Aging.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
That's Miss Beverly DiMaggio.
Yes,
She, of course,
ma'am.
she's no stranger to the Voice of the
Yes,
Coast as
ma'am.
well.
Every month
So
we
you
go.
also are doing some things with her.
Yes, ma'am. When we do our senior luncheon, we go out to the list in Patterson, and we also provide the Council on Aging, the residents in Patterson, a hot meal once a month. And now we are starting, per the mayor, to do 2 lunches per month. So on tomorrow, June 9th, we have a lunch, and June 23rd, we have a lunch.
Now, where is that luncheon held on June 9th, tomorrow?
Every
Wednesday?
month, thanks to Chief Grogan of the city of Patterson, we have it at 205 Park Street. That is considered the substation for the police department. 205 Park Street.
What kind of food? Because it's almost lunchtime.
Oh
for
my
me, so what
God.
kind of
Tomorrow
food?
we're going to have some red beans and sausage, some cake, some dessert, and some smothered meatballs and meatloaf.
Okay,
Yes.
sounds good. And this is twice a month.
Twice a month starting this month. In previous months it was once, but now per Mayor Grogan we're going to do it twice a month. So June 9th and June 23rd for the month of June.
Now, I know it might seem a little, maybe asking too much, but I still got to ask, do you guys provide transportation?
We don't provide transportation, but however, the chief allows Kevin Stewart, Detective Stewart, and Officer James Carinas to assist me every month. We have a list that we work off that was provided by the Council on Aging, and we provide lunch to those particular. Any person in the city of Patterson that need a lunch on tomorrow or any other day, they can call me in advance.
Okay.
992-0630. If they call me in a timely manner, we will get a lunch to them.
Give me that number one more time.
985-992 0630 is my personal cell. If also they need to reach me, they can call at the City of Patterson, 395-5205. Call on the Monday or the Tuesday prior to the luncheon so that we can get our stuff together and deliver in a timely manner.
All right, well, we're going to come back right here on the Voice of the Coast and kind of talk about another event that's coming up. You guys are just kind of rolling it out. The summertime is going to be hot.
Yes.
So you guys come on back right here on the Voice of the Coast with you. Welcome back to the Voice of the Coast. I am your host, Danika Foley-Long, and I am here with our Jennings-Salazar.
You guys.
We have Allise. She's the Community Outreach Coordinator with the City of Patterson. Now, we were just talking about this hurricane preparedness drive that you're doing, but it's mostly for our senior citizens.
Correct.
I think it's a great idea. Just talking about the fact that, you know, there are a lot of our senior citizens whose families don't even live in the area anymore.
Right.
And they're pretty much kind of left to their own devices. So I know that when you go to their home sometimes, they just want companionship.
It is the most rewarding thing. Every month when they see that police car, one man told me, baby, you come into my house, it's the best thing today.
Yes.
They need that companionship,
Yes.
that hot meal, just to say hello. Just, you know, some don't have visitors throughout the whole month. So it is the most rewarding thing for me to help an elderly, you know, it's just beautiful.
I'm glad that somebody is taking heed to this, because I will tell you, talking to Ms. Beverly DiMaggio often, she says this all the time. And I love the fact she says, my old people, it is like, Ms. Beverly, you look good, good, girl. But, you know, but I love her spirit. And it's pretty infectious, and I think more people need to do this, and I appreciate and I applaud your efforts. Again, this is going to be on June 12th. That is this Saturday. It's from 8 a.m. to noon. You guys will be located where?
Family Dollar on Catherine Street in Patterson, Louisiana. We are accepting anything you think a senior citizen could use and survive with if we should have a hurricane.
Now, if you buy flashlights, I want to say make sure to buy the batteries with it.
Please,
you can buy all the equipment all you want, but it is so hard to come by batteries. So when you buy those things, make sure to buy batteries to go along with it. It is pretty much a drive up. They will just be able to drive up and drop it off. You guys will pick it up out of their vehicles.
Yes, I have some helpers coming. Just drive up. We're going to greet you with a smile, tell you thank you. You don't have to get out your car, reach the bag, and the next call, we're just going to have a drive-through rotation.
Right. Now, of course, tomorrow, which is June 9th, that's on a Wednesday, you guys will be hosting another event.
Yes, tomorrow again, we will have our senior luncheon, 11:30 until 1 o'clock, 205 Park Street. That's in Patterson. That is the substation of the police department, and again, thanks to Chief Grogan for allowing us to use that.
Yes. Now we're talking, this is going to be a really good summer, so June 13th, which is one day right after the Hurricane Preparedness Drive, you guys are hosting a pre-Juneteenth gospel concert.
Yes, ma'am, we sure are. It will start at 5 p.m. at Hetty Watts Park. Park Street Park. Yes, it will start at 5. If you would like to sing, dance, even just give a thought, you are welcome. It is called the pre-Juneteenth. Yes, ma'am.
Right. And tell me about who's going to be performing.
Well, I'm praying and trusting we're going to have so many guests. we might be into 8. But what my partner Holden Murray and I did, we reached out to a person that we knew could get some performers to come. So we reached out to Charles, Brother Butchie McKinley. And so he has took care of, spearheaded that for us. Any person that has not spoke to Brother Charles and would still like to come out and perform, sing, give a thought, say a prayer, you too are welcome.
Give me your number or the number to City Hall where people can contact if they would like to get involved.
If they would like to get involved, they can reach 395-5205 and ask for Holden Murray to get up on the lineup. And if you should not come out Sunday, 5 o'clock, look for myself, look for Holden, look for Brother Charles McKinley. Let us know you would like to render a song, dance, and guess what? You too will be included.
Now, it's at a park, so will there be seating available, or should participants, guests, bring their own lawn chairs?
That's a good thing. Thank you. We will have chairs, but if you would like to bring your own lawn chair, you are more than welcome to. But we will have some chairs.
Okay, and this is awesome as well, because a lot of times this doesn't happen when you have events at parks. You can bring your own ice chest.
You can bring your own ice chest. You might have a child, they might need some water, some juice. Bring your own ice chest. Sunday, we hoping and praying for good weather. It may be really hot. It may have a little cool front, but to be prepared, you can bring your ice chest with your water, your juice.
Yes, and no
sodas.
alcohol.
No alcohol.
We want to
No
make sure we
alcohol.
put that out there. All right, so there's at least 3 days, June 9th for the luncheon. On June 12th, they have the Hurricane Preparedness Drive at Family Dollar in Patterson. And then follow up the next day on June 13th. You can go out to Park Street Park for the pre-Juneteenth gospel concert. Thank you very much for your time. And thank you guys, as always. Make sure to subscribe to us on Facebook. We are KWBJ TV 22. And also on YouTube, KWBJ Live. Come on back. We have much more to cover right here on The Voice of the Coast. Welcome back to the Voice of the Coast. I am your host, Danika Foley, and we have some new guests to join us here. We have Ruby Maize, who is the co-founder of the Juneteenth Bike Ride, along with a committee member of that same organization, Juneteenth Bike Ride, and that is Mr. Courtney Long. Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you for having us.
All right. This is a little weird because, you know, it's Danika Foley Long now, so, but we're going to make this a good one, all
Keep
right?
it professional. Keep
Yeah,
it
you know, it's the good, the bad, and the ugly on this show.
Right.
You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. First and foremost, most people are maybe at home, they're saying, what is Juneteenth? Can you explain exactly what that is?
Yes, Juneteenth is a day we commemorate the slavery being abolished in June of 1865. And like a lot of states don't recognize this as a national holiday, which I don't think any do, but they do different events to commemorate the holiday.
Okay. Now you said event, and you're right. Most when there's historical events, people commemorate it by doing another event. You're actually doing an event, but it's a bike ride.
Correct.
How did that come up? Again, it started in 2019, 2020. You had the pandemic. We'll talk about that in a little bit. So how did it go from, you know, commemorating Juneteenth with a bike ride? What was the significance?
In 2019, my co-founder is Patrina Coulon. She called and we wanted to have a nighttime bike ride, which decorate our bikes with lights and, you know, sirens and just the bells and whistles of everything. And so we got together and we decided to do this in June of 2019. And it was such a success that we said we would do it again the next following year for Juneteenth, in which we all know the pandemic happened and we couldn't, you know, keep that going.
Okay, so how did you get involved? What was your reason for joining this?
Well, actually, the first year that Miss Ruby and Trina did it, we actually rode with them. And I thought it was just going to be a bike ride and we just riding, which was fun in itself. But actually getting the rich history that Morgan City has as far as the African American community is concerned was enlightening to me, living here all my life and not really knowing that these landmarks and this history existed.
Okay. Now, speaking of landmarks, I mean, what is the route and how did you choose it?
We're going to start at Sumter Williams, which is a very historical school as far as the African American community is concerned. We'll have a speaker there. I think that who will be speaking at Sumter Williams?
Miss
Lagarde. Miss
Lagarde.
Miss Lagarde, who pretty much everybody my age and younger or older knows that she's probably taught him at some point. Mm-hmm. So she'll be the speaker there. Then we'll go on to the historical Delcore's Cleaners, and that's just an amazing story in itself. And then we'll stop at two other barbershops, Skinner's and
Ruffin's Barbershop.
And Ruffin's Barbershop, going over to Rita Mae's, and then I think the last stop will be Jones Funeral Home, and then we'll go ahead back to the Jimmy Johnson Memorial Park.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. Now you mentioned, you know, the African American community. Is this open to the public?
Yes, it is. If you're not riding a bike, we invite you to come to any one of those landmarks and listen to the speakers. You can ride in your cars, be there before we get there, or just follow us along the route, because we will have an escort, correct, Courtney?
Yes, yes. And I think to speak to your question, I encourage the entire community to come out.
Yes.
Because this is not just African American history, this is Morgan City history. Right. And I think the more we know about our town, the more we can get involved, the more pride, the lifting of the morale. So I think there's a multitude of positive things that can come out of this.
Now you mentioned lights, and so in 2019, this was actually done at night, as opposed to this year, you're actually doing it in the morning time. Why is that?
We wanted to make it a family event where we have the children involved. We felt like doing it during the daytime would be a more safe event. weather at night, you know, we get the risk of cars not seeing us or something like that. So that's the whole purpose of having it during the day.
Right. What about the support of your council members, your mayor? Will they be in attendance? Are they aware of what's going on?
I tried to get, especially Lou, to get on the bike with us. But the council members, they were all on board. We got 100% support. The mayor is actually going to be helping with some things. So we have the city's full support.
All right, great. Well, we have another segment to come. Come on back right here on The Voice of the Coast with yours truly. Welcome back to the Voice of the Coast. Again, I am your host, Danika Foley. With me, we have Ruby Maize, who is the co-founder of the Juneteenth Bike Ride, which will be taking place on Saturday, June 19th, and a committee member, Mr. Courtney Long, who's also on that same committee, the Juneteenth Bike Ride. So let's get to all of it. Let's talk about, we mentioned one speaker, but there's going to be actually some other speakers. Can you tell us about?
Yes, at the conclusion of the bike ride, we're going to gather under the bridge for some more speakers and some refreshments. The speakers will be Reverend Ron Biles, we hope, because he was very instrumental in the first bike ride, talking about all the history of Morgan City. And as well as him, we'll have Miss Patsy Powell, whose mother, I think everyone knows, is Miss Irma White. She was very influential in this city, as well as Courtney's grandmother, Miss Roberta Brown. They both worked together with a lot of other people in this town to get things done.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned Reverend Ron Bias, and I remember the first time of the bike ride, and while the bike ride itself was a great idea, it just so happened he was on the bike ride and was able to disseminate a lot of the history. Yes. It just kind of happened.
Yeah, it was kind of a pop-up situation, but I didn't want him to stop. He's like a walking history book. Like, I so admire the knowledge that he has of this city altogether, and in particular some of the key points as far as the African American community is concerned. Because we don't get to learn that history, if we're being honest. We don't get to learn that history, so a lot of that was really, really intriguing to me.
No, Courtney didn't want it to stop. We were out there at 11 o'clock at night. Him or Reverend Bias.
Right.
But I mean, what was the reception from those in attendance?
Oh, everybody enjoyed it. They couldn't wait till next year to do it again. And you know, it happened the next year.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, I'm noticing from the flyer, it looks very, very colorful. Are there going to be shirts?
Yes.
Yes. We do have shirts. Actually, the shirt prices, I think we're cutting off the orders, Friday?
Correct.
Friday. And the shirt prices are $12 up to an extra large, and XX and higher is $15.
Okay. Where will the proceeds go?
It's pretty much to offset some of the cost of the things that we'll have there, the refreshments and things of that nature. And then also building upon, we're not trying to do this one time. You know, so we're trying to build where we can make it better and more informative. So that takes funds to do that. So.
Okay. Now again, we understand this is going to be during the day, but how can someone decorate their bike? What type of decorations could they use to kind of make it look really nice, really nice?
They can use balloons, flags, any type of, anything they think that this might be flashy to show what we're working with.
All right. Let's talk about that route one more time so we'll know where folks can kind of either meet up, because everyone may not have a bike or know how to ride a bike. So what are some of those locations again? So
we're going to kick off at 8 a.m. sharp at Sumter Williams. I don't know if it's Sumter Williams Elementary, because I went to Sumter Williams Elementary, so we'll just keep it that. We'll start off at Sumter Williams, have a spot at Delcore's Cleaners, then Ruffin's Barbershop, then Skinner's Barbershop, then Rita Mae's Kitchen, then over to Jones Funeral Home, and then we're ending at the Jimmy Johnson Memorial Park. So if you don't have a bike, again, you can stop at any one of those locations if you're interested in hearing the history of those locations.
Now, I will tell you, as someone who was a transplant, I didn't even know there was a Ruffin's Barbershop. So I'm assuming that is all along the corridor of Railroad Avenue, right?
That's correct. And it's no longer open, but there's still a marker there that shows it was there.
So give me the route, just where it's located. So Railroad to?
On the corner of Railroad and Mount Street.
Yes, I think
where we're starting. So we have Railroad at the cross street is
Now you want to test my geography. I'm a Morgan City native, but I don't know the name of that street. I just know how to get to something Williams.
Myrtle Street. It's Myrtle.
Myrtle, okay. There you go, Myrtle.
I wasn't expecting this one. Okay, so railroad, and then we're gonna go down to
Railroad to the corner of Mount Street and Railroad.
Okay, and
the
then
corner
continue on.
Corner of Poncio and Railroad.
Okay, continue on.
And take a right on Federal to
All
Rita
right.
Mays.
There we go.
Right on Greenwood to Jones.
All right, and that's that's what I was looking for.
Who
I
needs
asked the
Siri?
wrong person.
Who needs Siri? We got Miss Ruby. Take a right.
All right. Well, I really do
right.
appreciate this. Thank you guys so much for coming. Again, just as a very quick recap, again, the June 19th bike ride is going to take place Saturday, June 19th, and make sure to be out there at 8 o'clock sharp. Actually, come a little bit earlier because you may have to register. All right, that is all the time we have. We'll see you guys next time.